Okay. Well, yes, indeed. You already know what it is. It's your boy Retro with you on today. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Look at here, man. Don't you go nowhere, man. It's the Retro Philosophy Show. You already know what it is. We got an interesting topic for you on this morning. I'm also going to explain to you why the show was so late on this morning. But nevertheless, we's here, okay? We's here, and we're going to have a good time on this morning. So go ahead and hit the share button and let your folks know that the Retro Philosophy Show is on the air, and we get ready to jump in this thing and have a good time on this morning and a great topic, all right? Keep it locked and don't you dare touch that down.
Jesus loves me. 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 Hallelujah. Ah, ah, ah. 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 Jesus loves me. Yes, Mara. Yes, Mara. Yes, Mara.
Yes, indeed, yo. I tell you, it's a joy to be alive on today. It's an honor and a privilege to just be able to wake up and to give God the praise, glory, and honor that's due unto His name. If you know what I'm talking about, just say something in the comment section. Because the reality is, man, God's been better to us than we've been to ourselves. Beautiful children in the background. We had the privilege, as you can see in the background, visiting Uganda several years ago. It's been about maybe 4 years ago, something around there. And man, I tell you, man, I want to send a shout out to Jeffrey over there in Uganda, doing the doggone thing, man. Most of these kids that you see here, they have graduated and gone on to higher grades and everything. And the platform that they're standing on is a building that they were raising funds to build, and they have successfully done that. So we want to again send a shout out to Jeffrey over at Acres of Hope in Uganda. Let's give it up for him. Doing a great work over there, man, and it was a privilege and an honor to be able to be a part of it and just see how everything worked. And I went over there thinking that I was going to be a blessing to them, and I do believe I was in some shape, form, or fashion. But the reality is, they were a bigger blessing to me than I believe I was to them. Again, man, sometimes we just don't understand that we've got it good, and we don't take advantage of the things that God has allowed us to partake of, if you will. Bishop Marion Ezekiel Shaw, which was my father in the gospel years ago, he used to say, particularly during altar call, when he was gearing up toward the altar call time, bringing the sermon to an end, as he would start the altar call, and he would explain that if you do not have the Lord in your life, you are simply living beneath your privilege. And God has allowed us to have so much stuff, and we neglect to take advantage of it because we have, quite frankly, been hoodwinked, bamboozled, tricked, and just fooled by the enemy. He will present to us so many things, and let's be real about it. The things that he presents to us many times, it looks good. And I believe if I take advantage of this, it's gonna feel good too, because the reality is there's a lot of things in the world that my goodness, but it's the fine print. It's the fine print. So let's see here. Bada boom. Bada bang. We got a philosopher of the day today that we're going to share with you. But real quickly, I want to give a shout out to my man Carl Kashan, the average Harley rider. He has a YouTube page. Make sure you guys go and check him out. Yes, indeed. That's my boy Carl Kashan, and we send a good morning out to him on this morning. Scotty Tyler is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up for my man, 50 grand. Yes, indeed. Let's see here. Hottie Scotty. I heard him call himself the other day. Hottie Scotty. He was on the grill firing it up, making it do what it do. What's going on, Hottie Scotty? Ha, I got you now, bro. I got you now. Hottie Scotty in the building. Good morning. Read Proverbs 16 and 28. Life will teach us that you can't control someone's loyalty no matter how good you are to them. No matter how much they mean to you, doesn't mean that they'll value you the same. Sometimes the people you love the most turn out to be the people you can't trust you can trust the least. My point. Sometimes the person you take a bullet for is, oh my God, you just killed him with that last part right there. My goodness gracious. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a t-shirt right there. I'm gonna put that nice and big on the screen. Look at Hottie Scotty. Look at that bow tie, man, in that shirt, man. I need that bow tie in that shirt. That's a hot mix right there. But that last part right there, my God, from Zion, my goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes the person you take a bullet for is behind the trigger. My goodness gracious. My God, from googly woogly. That part right there, Mr. Scotty, that part right there. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Scotty Tyler on this morning, dropping that wisdom. Because the reality is, man, that, yeah, sometimes they the ones pull. My goodness, that just messed me up right there. That just messed me up on this morning, man. Sometimes the person you'd be willing to take a bullet for is the one pulling the doggone trigger. Oh man, I don't know what else to do right now. We might as well just shut down the Retro Philosophy show and just call it a day, because I ain't got nothing that can top that right there. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, give it up for Scotty Tyler in the building, just hitting us with some real heavy insight right there. Look here, man. I can't. I'm done. God almighty. That's a heavy one right there, man. Who we got on the line this morning, man? When you come in the building, say what's up. Let me see that you're watching on today. Hey, we do have a interesting topic that I want to discuss. Let me just tell you why the show was so late this morning. I went out yesterday. How y'all like the fit? Y'all feeling it? Y'all feeling it today? Yeah. Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry in the building. The Retro Philosophy Show. Come on now, in conjunction. It is what it is. You can get one. All right. You can get one. All you got to do is call that number that's scrolling at the top of your screen. And you can also email me. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get this thing up here. When I tell you, man, I've been working on, bringing this platform to another level. I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing the best I can, folks. So you can see the email right there, retrophilosophy.75@gmail.com. All right. That's the number that you can call. That's the email that you need to email if you would like to get the this hat that I have on, the shirt that I have on. You can get one. You can get one. Okay. When I tell you we got you covered, ladies and gentlemen. We got you covered. You hear what your boy said? I got you covered. Okay. And so just make sure you hit us up there. Bada boom, bada bang. Okay. And then the telephone number is scrolling at the top of the screen. Let me go ahead and do this real quick. But we're doing the best that we can with what we got. I am a one-man show, and it's all good. It's all good. I ain't mad at it at all, none whatsoever. But when you are a one-man show, man, you just gotta, as I said, do the best you can with what you got. And this is what I tell people all the time, man. You got to use what you got till God bless you with what you need. Y'all ain't hearing me up in here today. Y'all ain't hearing me, man. Y'all ain't hearing me, man. You got to use what you got until God blesses you with what you need. So literally right now, I'm multitasking, and we're gonna make it do what it do. There you go, right there. I wanted to change that a little bit, make my font, kind of, and cool. All right. But anyway, so that's the email right there, retrophilosophy.75@gmail.com. Telephone number you can reach us at is 980-222-4492. And check it out, man. We have already gotten some of the raffle tickets in. We are going to be doing a giveaway on tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. All right. That was deep, baby. It was deep indeed. It was deep indeed. Sometimes the one you're willing to take a bullet for is the one that's pulling the trigger. Amen. That's right. It is what it is. So yeah, so we'll be doing the giveaway on tomorrow because tomorrow is Thursday. So last week I told you we'd be doing the drawing on tomorrow. And so what you need to do if you would like to be entered into the drawing, all you simply need to do. Let me see, where is that? Did I forget to put that up? Let's see what we got here. Bada boom, bada bang, bang, bang. Somehow or another, I think I may have deleted it. I think I did. Let me see. I got to get that up there because it's necessary. I hope you guys are having a great day so far. Oh, there we go, right there. Boom. Okay, so all you need to do is you need to just cash app us $1. Okay, one digga dollar. Okay, one little measly dollar. 4 quarters. 20 nickels, 10 dimes. That's all you need to do. Just go ahead and cash app that to us. $ retro philosophy. Okay, when you put that in there, put your shirt size that you desire should you win. All right. Tomorrow we'll be doing the giveaway. It will be an online race. They call it a duck race. Okay, so I'll be working on that throughout the day to make sure that's good for tomorrow. And some of the again, the cash apps has already been coming in on yesterday and throughout the week. So we do appreciate you for participating. And what you will win is simply this. It's a retro philosophy T-shirt. Okay, and I'm gonna put it on the screen so you can see it. There you go, right there. Retro Philosophy, hashtag press play. That's what you stand a chance to win. If you say, well, I don't want to necessarily do the raffle. I want to support the show. I want to support what you're doing. Then you can simply cash app $25 with your shirt size and you can get one outside of the raffle. How about that? Now, let's say you say, well, I don't want to pay $25, but I'll dump $5. You can send $5 and that'll give you 5 places in the race. Okay. So yeah, you can up your chances of winning. We've had some, send in $10. That gives them 10 places in the race. All right. So that's all you've got to do. Okay, so enough of that. Now, again, the proceeds are going to the Retro Philosophy Show so that we can continue to build this platform and bring you quality content and more chances to win more prize. Now, we'll be doing the giveaway tomorrow, and then immediately we'll start the next giveaway. And so we've got some things already compiling so that we can be a blessing to you because that's what it's all about. Okay, now, I was late this morning because this thing right here. Now, I want to give a shout out to Pastor Ricky Lewis of Gethsemane Church of Jesus Christ, Springfield, Massachusetts. I believe it's 57 Harvey Street. He said something years ago. Okay. And side note, hey, what's going on, Belinda? My cousin's watching all the way from Montgomery, Alabama. Give it up for my cousin in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, Belinda Jones. Now, I often say this. And I'm doing my best, and I want you to hear me, and I want you to do your best to live a life in such a way that you are quotable. I'll say that one more time. Let us live a life in such a way that we become quotable. In other words, you've got to say something that's worthwhile that someone else will take the time to pause and consider and then remember and then reiterate. Live a life in such a way that you are quotable. And so Suffragan Bishop Ricky Lewis said this years ago. He said, excuses only satisfy the ones who make them. So in other words, you're giving me an excuse, but it don't necessarily satisfy me. It might satisfy you. But it ain't gonna, being excused is no excuse. So anyway, this is not an excuse. It's just an explanation. Okay, I'm not giving an excuse as to why I was late this morning. I'm just simply explaining to you why I was late. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my man TJ. He's in the building representing the Dinosaur Riders Motorcycle Club out of Gastonia, North Kakalaki. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my man. My man, 50 grand. You know what? My TJ is my man, 100 grand. How about that right there? What's going on, TJ? Hope all is well with you and the family. And as well as the brothers over there at Dinosaur Riders down there in the great city of Gastonia, North Kakalaki. We got to get together and ride, brother. We got to get together and do some more riding. All right. But again, we want to say thank you for pressing play and welcome to the Retro Philosophy Show along with everybody else. And again, when you come in the building, say what's up. Now, here you got it. Now, this is not an excuse. It's just an explanation. So I went out yesterday and I came across this item here. Okay. I wanted it. This is one of those sleep masks that you put on when you're sleeping, and you know, I had wanted to get one, and I got one, and it just wasn't really, you know, it turned out becoming my wife's. It just, you know, it just didn't do anything for me really, you know. I just, you know, but this particular one here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm just now. Okay, you see that? Okay, that's a plug. This is Bluetooth. And this joker got speakers in it. So when you put this on, oh gosh, and you put your favorite music on, real talk, true story. I'm trying to learn Spanish. Se habla español. I'm trying to learn Spanish, okay? Now, I took it in school and didn't pay enough attention because I was paying attention to all the wrong things. But anyway, I'm trying to learn Spanish, okay? And so I came across a video that it said, learn Spanish while you sleep. So, hey, why not? Let's give it a shot, right? So I had listened to it before and stuff like that on my phone. Had just had the same sitting by the bed. But now I got this right, so I don't have to disturb my wife, you know, and you know, and so man, I had this thing on and it had the little sound effects in the background, like the rain and everything. And that thing took me all the way out, man. I kind of turned over and kind of lifted it up, and I saw the sun was starting to come through. I just put that thing back down, boy, and I was all the way gone, y'all. Yo, what's going on? Troy Smith is in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for my man, 300 grand. The one and only Mr. Troy Andre Smith in the building. What's going on, bro? Hope everything is good up there in the field. And so we just here talking. We do have an interesting show for you on today. And it's simply, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. That's what we want to talk to you about today, man. But this thing, David, when I tell you this thing right here is the truth, bro, man, I mean, like I said, it's Bluetooth, so you got your controls right there, and you got your music. It just sits right there. It doesn't sit perfectly on your ear, but the volume is enough to where you can still hear it, and it's extremely comfortable. As you can see, it's so, man, it's just... So it's on point, man. This thing right here is worth its weight in gold, and it just put me all the way out. That's the only drawback to it. You know, you might be so comfortable and just, you know, just gone, you know. And so I woke up, when I finally did wake up, you know, I was like, oh man, I said, God Almighty. And then I get up here into the studio, and I'm, you know, getting ready for my show, and as you see, I've changed my platform where you might not necessarily be able to tell, but if you watch close enough, you should be able to, because I can do so much more stuff with this new platform, which is Ecamm. Okay. And I am still learning it. But there were some things that I discovered as I was getting ready for the show, and it led me down another rabbit hole. And so it's all good. But today we're talking about it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Okay. So many of you guys, watched us on Monday, and we saw that we talked about the brother up there in New York City who got robbed literally while preaching his Sunday morning sermon. If you did not catch that show, go back over to YouTube and just go down my timeline or my video playlist, and you'll see it there. Preacher robbed while preaching. And so you can go ahead and get the gist or the full thing behind that. And so, you know, there you go, Scotty. The rabbit is behind the trigger. The rabbit is behind the trigger. And, you know, there were some that made fun of this guy. Now, we covered the show, if that's what you want to call it. I'd like to say we talked about it. We discussed it. Okay. We discussed the current events. We discussed the situation. We speculated. We assumed. We did several things, you know, and during the show, there were some parts where we were kind of joking, but by no means was I laughing at the man's situation or circumstances. Okay. What was more comical, and most of the parts that we were laughing about, even though it wasn't funny, was the brother in the pulpit that never moved. Well, according to David, he did move. My wife, she also said, no, he did move. But he was just too calm and just didn't really make a lot of sense at all. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about today. There were some that made fun of the whole situation, even the part where they put the gun in his little 8-month-old baby's face. And that right there, no bueno. Okay, that's supposed to be booing, and it's certainly not cheering. Okay, no bueno. That means it's not good. It's not good. Yes, sir. TJ said, all is well. All is well. And yes, we will get together and we will ride. Speaking of ride, man, we are headed out to not California. Good Lord. California is just in my heart, man. We'll be up there next year, back out there next year. But we're going to Chicago. Chicago. For many, they call it Chirac. We're gonna try to stay out of the Chirac area and just visit the Chicago area, if you understand what I'm saying. But we're gonna mount up this weekend, early Friday morning, and head off, man. And if you got some free time, man, holla at me if y'all wanna tag along, ride along. It's all good. But anyway, it ain't no fun with the rabbit got the gun. Okay. Now the situation. Let's get off of him. In life, many of us go through situations, and in life, many of us we are made aware of certain situations. Okay, and these situations that we become aware of, it does not give us a right to poke fun. It does not give us a right to even benefit off of their downfall or what have you. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Sometimes we see things not to talk about them, but to undergird them, to lift that individual in prayer, to be aware, because if it happened to them, guess what? It can happen to you. Okay. And it's all fun and games when you on the up, right? But when those chickens come home to roost, what you gonna do then? And so it's all fun and games now, but what if the situation were to flip, were to change, were to, what are we going to do then? So I simply want to encourage you and just bring to light the fact that we cannot be so careful as to think that it would never happen to me. The old homies used to always say, never say never, never say never. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what tomorrow holds. You don't know what's coming down your alley tomorrow. You know what I mean? And the reality is, in many cases, the way I handled it when I was on the uppity up could determine how it plays out when I'm on the low low. Y'all ain't saying nothing up in here. Boy, they do roost. Come on now. You see, some of us are not just talking out of the side of our neck, but some of us are speaking out of experience. You understand what I'm saying? I've done some things in life that I wasn't proud of, and I've also had to pay the consequences of the very actions, of the very deeds, And I'm one to quickly say, a mistake is no longer a mistake if you learn from it, and there's so much truth to that, because I made a mistake and the enemy wants to beat me up saying that I made a mistake and I failed, and I did. But the moment you learn from the mistakes in life that you make, you can literally remove it from the mistake column, and place it in the experience column. And now the enemy can no longer beat you over the head about the mistake that you made. However, let me pause for a moment because I got to do this. Pause for the cause. Let me say what's going on to my cousin. Jan is in the building. What's going on, cuz? How you doing? Yes, indeed. Good to see you on this morning. Hope all is well with you and yours. Now, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought because my beautiful cousin popped up and I had to acknowledge her and say what's up, because that's how we do it over here on the Retro Philosophy Show. So I've made many mistakes in life, right? And the mistakes turned out to be learning experiences because, or let me say it this way, they many times they do not become learning experiences because we don't humble ourselves. Come on now. We don't humble ourselves like we should. Therefore, we don't get to learn the lesson that God intends for us to learn from the whole ordeal. Okay. So humble yourself, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, that he might exalt you in due time. Somebody tell your neighbor it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Come on now. Life, you better believe it, man. Life is quotable, Brother Scotty. It is quotable. And it should be. The children of Israel went through so much under the oppression of Pharaoh and so on and so forth. But God did a mighty work in spite of the hell that they had to go through, and in spite of the hell that they had to experience under the hand of Pharaoh and under the leadership of Pharaoh. Let me pause for the cause, because many of folks say, well, I didn't do such and such. Well, it happened underneath your leadership. And if it happened underneath your leadership, then it's a good chance that you, in some shape, form, or fashion, are responsible to a degree. You don't believe me? Ask Eli. Yeah, yeah. Eli had to suffer because of what his sons did. He was the leader and he didn't say nothing. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. So anyway, they suffered under the leadership and they suffered under the hand and leadership of Pharaoh. Okay. And so what does God do? God sends Moses to tell Pharaoh to let my people go. I didn't get on here to preach, but don't push me. Come on, somebody. And so now Moses has to go back to Egypt to deal with Pharaoh and a people and a system that he had left out of. Come on now. And he gets back there. Now, first and foremost, he's afraid and he's scared. God has to tell him, look, number one, I've sent you to do this. Number two, those that once sought your life are no longer. They ain't there no more. They dead and gone. Now get up and go do what I told you to do. Who am I talking to this morning? You've been using an excuse not to do what God is calling you to do. But God's saying the thing that you're trying to use from it for an excuse, it don't even exist no more. Look at here, man. That excuse only satisfies you. It's not going to alleviate you from the responsibility that still rests on you. Get up and make it happen. Go do the doggone thing. I mean, yeah, you're gonna probably mess up. I mean, I'm saying I messed up in life on so many levels. I've messed up as a husband. I've messed up as a father. I've messed up as a son. I've messed up as a pastor. I messed up as a barber. I messed up as an entrepreneur. Every aspect of my life, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including every aspect of my life, I've messed up. But you know what else I did? I got back up. Yeah, I can't allow the mess up to stop me. Come on, baby girl. She said, make it happen. Make it happen. We've got to make it happen. And we can no longer use the excuse that I messed up and I don't want to. No, get up and keep trying. No one gave me a manual. Okay. Now, in the streets, there were manuals, if you will. They were, and that's funny too. Let me talk about that for a moment. It ain't no fun with the rabbit gets the gun. We're going to get back there in just a moment. Okay. But in the streets, I'm talking to you church folk. Okay. In the streets, people were so quicker to be ready to spit knowledge and to spit game and to put you on and to, show you the ropes. And, but it's a little different over here in Zion. Y'all folks is trifling. Y'all folks is something serious, man. But anyway, okay, let's get back to the show. Now, I didn't have a manual. I had a few examples that I could look to, but in my case and in my situation, even the ones that I looked to, they were not teaching me. I had to glean. I had to sit at the outskirts. I had to sit at the bottom of the table and eat the crumbs that fell. And I had to, and so it is. It's all good though. It's all good. Because many a times I didn't even realize it for what it was. It wasn't until later that God began to explain to me because, when you hungry, crumbs are not, them crumbs is good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And all you know is you eating because you got a humble heart. You got a humble spirit, and you're not sitting there. There you go, Troy. You got to fess up. Fess up on the mess up. Then you'll forever be blessed up. That part right there. Fess up on the mess up and then you'll forever be blessed up. I'm just wondering where that's going to go, Troy. You know where I'm going with that, right? I don't know. Possibly, maybe. But I like it. I like it though. Yeah, I see you, dog. I see you, man. The boy's just lyrical, man. That's bars. Somebody say bars. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fess up on the mess up, then you'll forever be blessed up. Yeah. Okay. Bars. Yeah. That part right there. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Troy Andre Smith in the what? He's in the building. Come on, bro. You being quotable for real, man. You being quotable, man. Yes, indeed. We appreciate you, man. We appreciate you for real. Ladies and gentlemen, that's my boy right there, Troy Andre Smith. If you are in the Springfield area and you have a home that needs to be painted or whatever, holla at my man because he got it going on. Got his little painting business and things of that nature. And I believe it extends beyond just the painting. So make sure you check out my boy Troy Smith. Troy, you got your website, you got your Facebook page, because this day we got to promote ourselves, brother. So if you do not, I'm expecting you to get a Facebook page created for your business. All right. So we can make sure we go ahead and properly promote you here on the Retro Philosophy Show. All right. She said I might preach that one, Troy. All right, look at you. Go ahead with your bad self, Shelly. Go ahead and preach it, girl. Go ahead and preach it. I don't think he will mind because he said he's trying to be quotable, and quotable he is. And quotes can turn into sermons real quick. You understand what I'm saying? Scotty says you're getting more quotes for more t-shirts. You better know it. You better know it, boy. I need a virtual secretary from this moment forward to take notice, or take note, I should say, of all this quotable stuff that's coming through the airwaves on today, that will make their way to a t-shirt on a chest near you. I love it. You guys are wonderful on today. I am in chill mode, relax mode, because as I said, we're planning a beautiful trip this weekend coming up. For those of you who ride, we are going to hit the triple nickel. I don't know if anybody's watching has ever rode the triple nickel, but it's Route 555 and through Ohio. And it's not to be compared with the Tail of the Dragon, but it is a ride that's, a notable ride, and a lot of bikers like to hit that route and ride it out. So that's what we're going to do today on our way to Chicago. So we're going to kind of divert to hit some back roads for those that ride, man. And look, and don't ride. My sister, y'all give it up for Creations by TYS. You'll be hearing from her here in a little bit. Her and her husband, they rented a slingshot. They said, look, if Kingdom Alignment is going out, man, we see how y'all roll. We want to get down too, So they rented a slingshot, okay? And so we going to be out there. We're going to have some bikes in a slingshot, and we're just looking forward to having a good time. And you got to live life, folks. You got to live life, man. You got to live life. Okay, so let's get on back to what we were talking about, right? So the children of Israel, they are led by Moses, and he's leading them. God leads them up to the Red Sea, and he parts it and everything, and just sends them out in a miraculous way. Now, when they get, now this is what they were told to do. They were told to set up a monument. Number one, so they could always mark what God did and where God did what God did. Number two, they were to tell this to the children and their children's children and their children's children. Okay, because it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. And the reason why the rabbit gets the gun is because we forget where we came from. Yeah. And so they were to tell their children and their children's children and their children's children, so that they would always remember to reverence and to recognize and reverence God. Okay, and to never lose faith in the God that will deliver. Okay, and so when we see people in situations and in circumstances, and we quickly go to make fun of them, then we have forgotten the fact that God will deliver. See, I might be down to nothing, but God is up to something, and we just can't forget that, folks. What happened to being just good old decent people? My mama used to tell, I got to come up with a segment. My mama said, remember that meme that went viral with that little girl that she said, my mama said, and yeah, so my mama said, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Now, I do understand that there are a lot of things that happen that are unfortunate, especially for the person experiencing it. But at the same time, it's a teachable moment. Okay. And so even though you may bring a situation to light, and the fact that it comes to light, the person who actually experienced it may think you're making fun of them, or may feel as though you're exploiting their situation. And there is a fine line there. But many a times it's a teachable moment. The Bible even talks about that. It tells us that we are to mark individuals, especially as it relates to, a person who's causing problem in the church and so on and so forth. The Bible tells us to mark them. Yeah, mark them, make them a teachable moment, so that no one else does it, and so that everyone else can understand, who they are and what they're doing. Now, I do believe that there's a process to that. And that process, in my opinion, hey, what's going on, Bernie? Let's give it up for Bernie on today. The rabbit got the gun because we forgot that God is the one with the power, and God has given us the power. See, the rabbit got the gun because many of us are the rabbit. Yeah, many of us, we are the rabbit, and God is going to turn that thing around. Yeah, you see, we all big shots when we got the gun. It's just like some of these keyboard bad boys and stuff like that, and these cyber bullies and everything like that, and even some of these wannabe thugs. They real bad as long as they got that little something something. But when they ain't got the gun, then when they ain't got the gun, they gonna run. Yeah, that part right there. But anyway, when you got the upper hand, yeah, but you got to be careful because it's things can change. Things could change real quick, and I like to look at it this way: if I have the upper hand in a situation, if I have the upper hand in life, I'm to use that to be a blessing. Okay, I'm to use that to be an example. I am to use that so others can see if God did it for him, he can do it for me. Okay, and that's how you maximize and prolong and sustain your position there. Now, we talked before about the fact that your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. Okay, now, bringing you before great men, we've got to understand, though the gift made room for me and brought me before great men, we have to understand that in many cases, it's those great men that have the power, the ability, the resources, the influence, so on and so forth, to open the doors for us. And God is strategic. Okay, he's very strategic, and so once those doors are open for us, it's not so much our gift that keeps them open, but it's our character. In other words, God has gifted me. He's gifted you. And your gift has afforded you certain things. It has allowed you certain opportunities. Okay. And now that you've got the opportunity, it's your character that's going to prolong it. And so if you take your gift and you get what it has allowed you and afforded you, and you begin to floss on folks, it's just a matter of time. As they say, the same folk that you passed on your way up gonna be there on your way down. So be very mindful. Okay, be very mindful. There are some situations where, like me, for instance. Let's take me for instance. Number one, let me say this: the Bible says, "Despise not small beginnings." Everything had to start small. Everything started small. And so anyway. Despise not small beginnings. And so, here you are, we trying to do our little thing. You trying to do your little thing. And that's good. Keep on trying to do your little thing. And don't let nobody play you because anyway. Yeah, don't let nobody play you because you're not, where they are, whatever, yeah. Even legends had to start somewhere. Come on now. And so they will see you and and some folks got the audacity to despise you. Some folk got the gall to look down their nose on you and say, it'll never amount to nothing. Be very careful how we say those things. Okay. And so God, as I often say, this is another quotable one, y'all. Okay. I often say this: God is the silent listener in every conversation. I'll say that one more time. God is the silent listener in every conversation. Okay. And you and your homies, y'all might be sitting there talking about folk and this, that, and the other, and nobody else might have heard. And you just, I remember there were times I'd be in church and there would be folk, somebody might be up trying to lead praise service or testifying, and folk be up laughing and, come on, man, where they do that at? That's just wrong. That's just wrong. But God has a way of turning the tables. I believe the Bible says the first shall be last and the last shall be first. And some of the folk, they had a gift that got them to a place, and that's as far as they got, was to a place. But they had no longevity. They had no legacy to leave, you know. And so sometimes I want to talk to you. I want to talk to the underdog for a moment, okay? Sometimes you, as the underdog, all you ever get is talked about. All you ever get is pressed on. All you ever get is pressed out, you know. But God sees. Keep on pressing for the Lord and do it not as unto the people, but do it as unto the Lord. If you feel down in your shanana that what you are doing is for the Lord, then don't worry about them folk. Just keep on doing what God is calling you to do. And I get it. It gets rough sometimes. It gets rough sometimes. It gets hard. Come on now, Scotty. I'm doing the best I can with what I got. You know. He said, "Don't trim the fat. It helps season the meat, bro." Don't trim the fat. It helps season the meat. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so we for real though, real talk, man. He is the silent listener in every conversation. Okay. And so we've got to keep doing what we believe God has called us to do, because if we love God, he'll right the wrong. And first, he's going to right the wrong in our lives. Because as I said, I've messed up in every aspect of my life. Every aspect I've messed up. Now, I try not to make a habit of it, but the reality is it happens. And I think we've got to bring average back. I said, I think we've got to bring average back. Instead of us trying to be superheroes, how about just be an average man of God? Or maybe I should say a man in God. You know, and so in other words, it's okay to make mistakes because it's part of the process. It's part of, you know, our understanding process. That's why when my kids were young growing up, you know, I tried to give them choices and space so that they could make mistakes and learn how to recover from mistakes. In other words, I wasn't there trying to shield them from every little bitty thing. I wanted to keep them safe, of course. But as we raise our children, it's a part of life to fail. And if you raise them in an environment where they don't know what failing feels like, they've never experienced it, then when it really happens, they're gonna be dead in the water because they don't know what to do to recover. Sometimes they got to understand, yep, I messed up, but it was my choices and that I made, and I will own that. I will not point the finger and blame everybody, because if you live a life pointing the finger, everything you point your finger to is what you give the power to. That's why we got to stop saying the white man won't give me a job, the brown man won't let me do this, no. Stop doing that. Stop pointing the finger and blaming this one, that one. Now check this out. It may sure enough be them doing what they're doing that's not allowing you to get what you got to get and go where you got to go and be who you got to be. That may be the fact. That may be factual. But if you begin to blame them, it takes on a mindset that will cripple you more than it will help you. I know you doing. I was born at night, Negro, but not last night. I see you. But sometimes you have to play fool for catch wise. Ain't that what it go, Troy? Ain't that how it goes? Something like that. Sometimes you got to sit there and act like you don't see what's going on. Yeah. Sometimes you got to act like you don't know what's happening. But all the while, you see it. Yeah, you see it. God, yeah, look at here. God ain't sleeping now. God ain't sleeping. God ain't sleeping. Come on now here, Scotty. Help me out here now. I need some help. I lost my little amen corner. I got to go and solicit my amen corner and get it back. I got to get it back. Okay. So it's a reality that there are people and circles and groups and cliques and all that stuff that don't like you and that are fighting against you and that are making it difficult for you and laughing because you are struggling to get to where you're trying to get to, because they are already where they are. But where they are is where they're going to remain. But me and you, come on, somebody, we're going to keep rising to the top. Hey, give it all you got. Give it all you got. Yeah. We're going to keep rising to the top. I hope you do too. Okay. But you will never rise to the top pointing the finger, even when they are to blame. Just mark them and keep moving. Okay. Furthermore, may I go here? Can I go there, y'all? Can I have permission to go there? Can I get permission to go there? Okay. Some of us have been stuck for so long that we don't know it's wrong. Yeah, we've been stuck in that place for so long. We don't even realize that, it's wrong. And God wants to bless us. But Scotty said, go ahead. So I'm going for it, y'all. I'm going for it. God wants to bless us, but he can't bless us in the places that we are. Okay. And the reason why he cannot bless us in the places that we are, I'm going to help you out real good. And this is what I like about the Retro Philosophy Show and you wonderful people. Okay. This is what I like about you guys, man. You guys add to me. Yeah, you guys add to me, and getting up here every day, it has its challenges on more than one level. But you guys add to me, so I appreciate you. Every time you press play, somebody say hashtag press play. Every time you press play, I need you to come in the room and say what's up, because it adds to me. It blesses me, okay? The reason why God is not blessing some of us in the places that we are is because he understands. Let me put it this way. I told you earlier that he was the silent listener in every conversation, right? And the reason why he's not blessing some of us in the circles that we are in is because he heard conversations that you are unaware of. I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to leave it right there. Okay. He heard conversation. He heard what they were saying about you. He heard what they were saying about you and to who they were saying about you to. Come on, somebody. And I'm going to go back to my man, Scotty Tyler, right here. Bada boom, bada bang. Y'all look at that last part. Sometimes the person you take a bullet for is the one behind the trigger. So God knows that they really don't have your best interest at heart. Quite frankly, they just using you. They getting out of you what they can get from you while they can. I mean, to tell you, it just is what it is. And so God will wait for you to bump your head a few times. He will wait for you to become tired of eating, of feasting on your tears. David said, my tears have been my meat both day and night. And I've been there. And I'm sure many of you have probably been there as well. But at some point, we got to get tired of slurping tears and get to the point when we be like Tina Turner. Enough is enough. We got to get to a place sometimes where we are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And say, you know what? Something's got to give. God has ordered your footsteps. You just have to move your feet. Come on now. You just got to move your feet. Come on. Move your feet. Move your feet. Move your feet. Move your feet. Okay. You just got to move your feet, folks. And then you will begin to see the blessings of the Lord. Because, see, some of us are so afraid of making a mistake. And sometimes the reason why we think we'll make a mistake is because we've been indoctrinated by certain people's mindsets and philosophies and trickery and sorcery and yeah, I said it's sorcery and all that stuff. And now we are bound. We're bound. And in all actuality, all you have to do is be free from the fear of failure. And sometimes you got to fail in order to succeed. And once you are no longer afraid of failing, you begin to not fail. See, some of us fail because we're so afraid of failing. So every little step we're like, oh, I don't want to fall. Oh, I don't want to. Oh. And next thing you know, you trip over your own foot because you're trying to be so careful and so on and so forth. But when you finally get to a place where if I fall, I got knee pads on. And if I fall, I'll just get back up and keep going. I saw a clip. I didn't know I was going to go here today. Otherwise, I would have gotten this clip and been able to play it for you. Oh, yeah, I want to play the Philosopher of the Day for you today as well. But this little girl was she was in a track meet. And boom, out the gate, they all take off. And the little girl fell down. And they just, everybody, of course, they kept running. She fell down, and she fell down. You know what she did? She didn't look over there to her mama and daddy and start crying and says, ooh, I'm going, no. That little girl got up and she took off. And she kept running and she kept running and she kept running and she caught up with the pack. You know, that in and of itself was success because she fell down, got back up and caught up. But she said, no, this ain't good enough. If I could get up from the fall down and get back to the group, then maybe I can keep pressing. And she kept on pressing. And the little girl won the race. I mean, she fell down and they took off. They almost lapped the girl. She got up, man, and she took off and she was running and she won the doggone race. She won the race, man. And that's what many of us have to understand. I'm not afraid of the fall down because I know I can get up. And once I get up, boy, I'm going to take off. So don't get up and then just, say, well, I got up. No, get up to win. Get up. She won the race. The girl won the race, man. She won the race. So check this out, man. It's no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Okay. Please know and understand that. And we have to learn to look at things from other people's perspectives. Now, I often say this, one's perspective is one's reality. Come on now, that's quotable right there. One's perception is one's reality. If you perceive a thing to be a certain kind of way, then that is your reality, okay? Now, you could be dead wrong. Factually, you're wrong. Emotionally, in your eyes, you're right. You understand what I'm saying? So now, if you perceive it to be a certain way, I'm never going to win you or educate you or teach you if I'm fighting against what you believe to be right. I first must be willing to understand your point of view. I must be willing to at least attempt to sit in your seat for a moment and see it from your perspective. Because if I do, come on now, use it, brother. Use it. He said, literally just use that one day before yesterday. And it's all good. Because again, we all ought to live a life in such a way that we're quotable. And if you're a quotable, then that means somebody can take that and share that with somebody else. And you already know what it is. All right. So appreciate you, Brother Troy. Appreciate you very much. You know what, Scotty? I'm not sure if that's the one where she lost her shoe or not, to be honest. It might have been. She tripped, fell down, had to get up and put her shoe back on. That might have been the one because the team, they just took off, man. They were gone, man. But she came back and won the race. Yeah, that's the one, Troy. Okay, so you guys have seen it, right? She wasn't playing games with nobody, okay? So check this out. I now have found out that we are not seeing eye to eye because my perception of the situation is this. Your perception is that, okay? And so now what I've done, what I'm doing now is I'm stepping out of my seat. I'm getting out of my seat to sit in your seat because you can never see it from their perspective in your seat. See, case in point, bruh man went over into Big Y and stole some ramen noodles and some bully beef. Yeah, he stole it, man. Bully beef is expensive now. It done gone up. Bully beef done gone up for real. All right, anyway, and he stole it, right? And you say the nerve of him to steal. The Bible says, thou shalt not steal. Okay, it does say that. And to steal is a sin. But sometimes when you take and you can look from their perspective, I'm not saying that it's going to make it right, but it sheds light on it in a complete different way. And so now, even though he has done wrong, but you also understand why he did it. And now that you understand why he did it, you can more effectively keep him from doing it again. There was a story that I saw about a police officer. Same thing. A woman was caught shoplifting. He not only paid for that which she stole, he brung her a whole thing of groceries because, her living conditions were really poor. And do we not have a heart? You're going to give her 50 years for stealing, some groceries. I mean, stealing is wrong, but I'm just saying, man, sometimes we got to be willing to look at things from another person's perspective. Let's see. Now the rabbit is hunting you and it's uncomfortable. Now what? That part right there. That part right there. Yeah, baby, that bully beef done gone up. I love me some bully beef, man. I do. My wife, she's a great cook. She's a great cook, and in so many ways, she's a great chef, man. All right, that's for what's love got to do it. Let me stay in retro philosophy mode. Y'all get ready to drop my voice a couple octaves and go into my Barry White voice, and stop. Okay, all right. That's all right. So where was I at? Where every time, see, she be coming on here, she be messing me up, man. But okay. So yeah, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Okay, ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, and we never know when things are going to change. Let's take a pause for the call since we're talking about perspective. Yeah, oxtails done gone up too. You better know it, bro. You better know it, man. They done gone up for real. So I wanna play this clip for you guys as we talk about the perspectives. We have lost many of relationships, many of partnerships, many of opportunities because we did not see eye to eye. And it's okay not to see eye to eye. Not seeing eye to eye is an opportunity for growth. In my relationship with my beautiful, sexy wife, hot wife, beautiful wife, we've had some situations where we didn't see eye to eye. But because we've been together long enough and because we love each other, even when we don't like each other, we still love each other. Come on, somebody. Yeah, you got to understand that. Yeah, okay. And so we were able to look beyond the fact that we're not seeing eye to eye. And when we don't see eye to eye, even though I don't like her stand, I love her, and I know her heart. Come on, somebody. I know her intent. Come on now. And when you in relationship like that, regardless of how it looks, they would never use it to do what the enemy is trying to make it look like. So we've got to be willing to ease up off of our perspective sometimes, so that we can really take this not seeing eye to eye moment and maximize a growth opportunity. Okay. And so there have been times where in our relationship that those moments, they yielded a better relationship for us. The psalmist said it this way. I'm going to try to apply it. It is good for me that I was afflicted. In other words, what happened is now working for my good today. You understand what I'm saying? And so we grow. Come on, somebody, we grow. Okay, so perspective is very, very important, and it's also important to understand perspective. Okay, so with that said and done, let's see here. Let me set this up real quick for you. I want to thank you for pressing play. If you're just joining us, let's see how many we got on here today. If you are just joining us, we are talking about the fact that it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, okay? So let's see here. Let me set this up for you real quickly, and that's not what I want. I promise you, you've been in situations in your life where you being so stuck on your perspective, it caused you to miss out on greater. I promise you, we've all been there. We've all been there. I promise you we have. But come on, man, where you at? I know I got that set up in here. Let me see. Just bear with me. Bada boom, bada bang. Okay, there it goes, right there in my face. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we are getting ready to introduce to you the retro show, Philosopher of the Day. And if you have one that you want to share with us, please, by all means, send it in. And we would love to use it on the Retro Philosophy Show for the Retro Show Philosopher of the Day. It could even be you. You can go ahead and film yourself spitting some knowledge, sharing some wisdom, and we'll go ahead and air the clip on the Retro Philosophy Show. All right, so you can email it to retrophilosophy.75@gmail.com. But ladies and gentlemen, here you go.
Seeing things from other people's perspective and what other people are going through helps me a lot. And I had the same similar situation with my pop not being around as well. What cracked the code for me was like, really, what was he going through? Yeah, it was like, it's happening to me. Mm-hmm. He's doing this to me. And when I looked at it from his position, his younger brother got killed. So he's going out in the middle of the night and he's looking for the guy who killed his little brother, right? But he has a family. Mm-hmm. So my mom is looking at him like, what you want? Mm-hmm. She don't have the language or the tools to tell him, man, we love you. We don't want nothing to happen to you. We need you. Mm-hmm. right? So how it comes out to her is, where the hell you going? You got kids here. And how it sounds to him is, you want me to choose between you and my baby brother,
you don't give a shit
who
about
I
my
was
baby
supposed to
brother.
protect? Now there's the fracture, among other things. You know, there is relationship, and there's their relationship, not ours as children. And you're a result of those things. So you feel like, boy, Dad's not around. It would have been dope if he'd have been able to take me to a baseball game.
Come on now, that's I mean, that's some serious perspective for you right there. You see what I'm saying? Now, you think it's happening to you, but in all actuality, here's another quotable one. You think it's happening to you, but in all actuality, it's happening for you. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. This came to pass. Yeah. And it came to pass. It came with a mission. It came with an agenda. It came with a purpose. And its purpose was not to add pain to your life. If it adds pain to our life, it's because we looked at it the wrong way. It's because we took it the wrong way. It's not happening to you. It's happening for you. I just quoted the psalmist. It is good for me that I was afflicted. It came to pass. You're going to get through this. And tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, come on, somebody, you're going to see that it's working for your good. You were stuck like Chuck, looking like Boo Boo the Fool, willing to take a bullet, not realizing that they were behind the trigger. They were killing you all along. They were killing your dream. They were killing your purpose. And we don't point the finger. But what we do understand is it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. And some of the very ones that were in position to bless you, they did not bless you. And God says, okay, see, here's what we got to understand in life. I told this to a preacher one time, to a pastor. And he got real indignant with your boy, and he got real, sassy, and he even literally wanted to challenge my manhood, not in terms of me being a male, but in terms of my manhood, because there are some things you don't do and say to a man. You understand what I'm saying? Because sometimes, come on now, but don't push me now. And by the grace of God, and because of the Spirit of the living God that was flowing in me, come on, somebody, it kept me calm. Because, there's an army. Yeah. Okay, anyway, there was something rising up in me. And it's like God himself just came and put his hand on my shoulder and said, sit on down, boy, sit on down. It's going to be all right. And so I looked this man in his eyes and I told him, I said, this is a 2-part test. See, just because you in front doesn't give you a right to deal with and treat people any kind of way. And we so quick to say, touch not my anointing and do my prophet no harm. Well, if I'm a child of God, and I is, then when it talks about his anointed, that's me. So let me break it down for you, okay? Touch not mine anointed and do my prophet no harm. So we can look at the anointed as the laity of the church, and the prophet as the leadership of the church. So touch not mine anointed and do my prophets no harm. So that covers us all. So that does not just mean that you as the leadership, you can threaten people with that text, because the same text using to threaten is the same text that's talking right back to you. Let me go a little further. It says that fathers are not to provoke your children to wrath. So you pastors and fathers in the gospel, it doesn't give you a right to deal with your sheep any kind of way. Because I'm a pastor too, we are not to provoke them unto wrath, but we are to deal with them according to knowledge. We are to deal with them. Come on, somebody, come on now. We got to deal with them like we know that we ain't always been perfect, because we ain't always been perfect. All right. So it's not happening to you. It's happening for you. OK. And Scotty, you're right. Some lines should not be crossed. They should not be crossed. Hey, what's going on, Sister Hicks? Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Tony Hicks. She's in the building. On God. Come on now. And that's facts. And so I have been, so let me finish my thought here. So I told the pastor, and I told him, I said, this is a 2-part test, and I'm not going to let the devil cause me to fail my part. I've got to pass my part. You've got to pass your part. And the way he was dealing with me was a failing grade. It wasn't a good example. It wasn't godly, and it just wasn't right. But I humbled myself, and I took it. But I tell you, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. What he did to me, he did to others. And eventually, it caused him to get to a place. Now, God bless him. I ain't going to say his name because it ain't about that. But God bless him, because I do believe he's at a different place now. But you'll never get to that different place until you learn. Yeah. Until you learn. And so in situations like that, I do my best to remove myself from the situation. I don't want to be in God's way, and I don't want to be too close should God decide to do whatever he want to do. And that's why, folks, we've got to take our mouths off of people, because we don't want to be attached to them when judgment. If you putting your mouth on somebody because you think they so wrong, then if they're wrong, God's going to deal with them. And if your mouth or your hand is on them, then that means you're attached to them. And that means some of the judgment that's going to fall on them is going to get you. Furthermore, sometimes God will take care of you before he even take care of them. I don't want my mouth twisted up and my tongue stuck to the roof of my mouth. So, Now, I'll talk about situations to the point where, let me say it this way. If it's a teachable moment, then we're going to work with it. Because we cannot get to the point where we use even the same thing that I'm saying as a shield for us to do what we want and you not be able to say anything about it. Some of these Negroes and nigglets need to be exposed, because I'm drifting, y'all. You cannot handle the people of God any kind of way. You say, well, look at here. Sometimes what we do is we take because they're willing to give. We had a young man who came to our ministry years ago. He was a good guy, man. He was a good guy. We were glad to have him to be a part of the ministry. And he was indoctrinated with the philosophy and with the thought that he had to be at my every beck and call. And I had to remind him, relax, son. We good. I can carry my own iPad, and I get it. He wanted to show honor to leadership. But there's got to be balance. We can't, he was a good dude, man. He was a good dude. And so I understood I was there for him more than he was there for me. And what I mean was him coming to the ministry, we were to pour into him more than he needed to pour into us. And so we cannot just take from the people because they're willing to give. Let me say that one more time. We cannot just take from the people because they're willing to. Sometimes you keep that and let me give you on top of that. We cannot let the people of God always want to serve us when we are the ministers. And that simply means we are the servers. We are to serve them. And I think that we get it twisted. I think that we get it twisted, man. And so I believe that if we're not careful as leaders, we will have to give an account, because there will be people who will be lopsided in their theology. They'll be lopsided in their application of their theology. They'll be unbalanced, because all they ever did was give. And as a matter of fact, they don't even know how to receive. Okay, I better leave that one alone and keep it moving. But it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. But let me say this. We all will learn. If I'm doing something wrong, one way or another, I'm going to learn. One way or another, I'm going to learn. Now, there's an easy way to learn, and that is to humble yourself and listen to reason. Okay. Now, somebody may email me after the show and say, hey, Retro, you said such and such, and I don't agree. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to humble myself, and I'm going to hear your perspective. I'm going to hear your point. Because, no, I don't mean this in any harm way, but you might be wrong, but you might have a good point. So in other words, what I said wasn't wrong, but the way it made you feel is a valid point. And so I don't stop saying what I say, but I have to be a little bit more careful as to how I say what I say. I didn't have the whole video, baby. I didn't have the whole video. That was just a clip that I got offline, and that in and of itself I thought was enough to ponder on. But I guess it would be interesting. I guess you're talking about what happened with his dad or whatever. But let me say this, and I can say this from experience, and the story and the backdrop and everything. But I can understand exactly where he is coming from, because there was a point in my life where I hated my father because of my perception, because of my perspective, because of what I was seeing from where I was sitting. Okay. And I've shared this before, and I hated my dad. But as Jay-Z began to give a little bit more enlightenment, number one, I thought it was interesting that he said, let me see if I can play that one more time. I thought it was interesting because he said this, man. He said that his mother did not have the tools or the language.
Seeing things from other people's perspective and what other people are going through helps me a lot. And I had the similar situation with my pop not being around as well. What cracked the code for me was like, really, what was he going through?
Okay, what cracked the code? Okay, now he says what cracked the code from him was this. He asked the relevant question. Ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, we're gonna pause right here, and we're gonna look at this. Okay, what cracked the code for him was he asked the relevant question. Are we asking the right questions, folks? Or are we saying, why me, why me, why me? Not understanding that it's not happening to you, but it's happening for you. Somebody say amen. Okay, so he asked the question. Okay, he asked the question. Let me back it up. Where you at? Play. There we go.
Seeing things from other people's perspective and what other people are going through helps me a lot. And
we see, when we see it from their perspective, it causes us to become more understanding. Okay, it causes us to become more understanding. All right, and understanding is what brings about healing. All right, you can never maximize a situation when you're not healed. But understanding, in my opinion, it brings about the opportunity for healing. Okay. And so now that he asks the right questions.
Similar situation with my pop not being around as well. What cracked the code for me was like, really, what was he going through? Yeah, it was like, it's happening to me. Mm-hmm. He's doing this to me. And when I looked at it from his position, his younger brother got killed. So he's going out in the middle of the night. So
he's blaming his father for doing it to him when he didn't do it to him. You understand what I'm saying? And he completely missed the fact, didn't even understand that his father was traumatized. Number one, he's experienced the loss, not the loss of a family member. Okay, now, not just the loss of any family member, but the loss of a baby brother. Okay, now I've got a little brother. He ain't little no more, but coming up, I would have done anything, and to this day, I will do anything to protect my little, because it's just embedded in me. It's just who I is and what it's gonna be. I don't care if we fussing and fighting. And we've had situations like that where we fussing and fighting, and next thing you know, we come together because somebody else tried to take one side or the other, and it just, no, you're not gonna, no. And I would do anything to protect my little brother. Okay, so I love my big brother, and but it's just something about the feeling of responsibility for the one that's younger. I mean, it just is what it is, right, wrong, or indifferent. Now, Jay-Z as a child, he didn't see that because and even if he saw that, he wouldn't have understood it because he wasn't old enough to understand that. You see what I'm saying? There are some things that we won't understand and won't make sense until we've gone through some stuff in life. And so now we've got a father who is, yes, baby, understanding brings healing, and it does indeed. And so he's got a father who is grieving, okay, and hurting, and he is simply unaware. Jay-Z, that is, and in some regards, we can say he's being selfish. How many times have we been selfish about situations because we take no time or consideration to realize what the other person is going through? I know you feel you are in the right, and you are, but understanding changes things. It will get you to a point where you say, I know I'm right, but let's say it this way. Paul said everything that's lawful is an expedient, okay? And so I don't know about you, but to me, this is powerful. Let me see what we got here. Bada boom, bada bang. Get that there. Okay, boom. Sorry about that.
Like, what you want? Mm-hmm. She don't have the language or the tools to tell him, man, we love you. We don't want that.
She don't have the language or the tools. So many of us, we lack the tools and the language. But I promise you, God can get them to us. God can get them to us. Now, some of it's going to come through experience. We talked about it before. Tribulation worketh patience. Patience experience hope, and hope maketh not ashamed. Some tools and some language you ain't gonna get until the rabbit got the gun. Yeah, until the rabbit got the gun. So there's a silver lining in all of this. Now we've got the rabbit and we've got the hunter. Okay. Now the rabbit represents the one who is being ill-treated, mishandled, overlooked, so on and so forth. The hunter represents the one that's taking stuff for granted. Okay. And so the one who takes things for granted is not necessarily lost. He just got to learn the hard way. And chances are, in my mind's eye, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, but because the rabbit knows what it feels like to have the gun pointed on him, chances are he may operate in a little bit more grace and mercy than you did as the hunter. We talked about Elijah the other day and how he was telling the king what was going on and everything. And so anyway, long story short, Elijah's servant wakes up one morning and looks out and finds that they're surrounded by the enemy. Elijah prays and says, God, open his eyes that he might see. He looks back out and sees that all throughout the mountains they're surrounded with chariots and horses, and he's, there's more with them than there were with the enemy. He then prays that God smites them with blindness. The army that had come against him, he prayed that God would smite them with blindness. Again, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. Now what he does is he leads them down to their enemy, right? And then he says, God, open their eyes. They open their eyes and they're surrounded. Now they said, should we smite them? He says, no, don't smite them. Give them food and give them drink. You see what I'm saying? He was teaching them a lesson. Look, you don't take advantage of somebody just because you have the upper hand. And what happened as a result of them dealing with them with kindness, they went back to their king and they never came back again to ravage their cities. You see what I'm saying? And so it was a learning experience for both parties. But it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. And you as the rabbit, when you get the gun, don't be so quick to pull the trigger. Just let them know, like David did. Look, Saul, I could have taken you out. He showed him he cut off a piece of his garment. And even in doing so, his heart smote him. So, so that part right there, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and finish this clip here.
Happened to you. We need you. Mm-hmm. Right. So how it comes out to her is, where the hell you going? Mm-hmm. You got kids.
Now she could have stopped this man from pursuing, because in my opinion, he was probably pursuing the folks who killed his baby brother, right? And Mama Girl could have stopped him had she had the tools and the language to do so, right? But she didn't. Okay, I got an aunt here, but she didn't. All right, and so what he needed to hear was not what he heard, and so what she ended up using, the tools that she ended up using, no doubt pushed him further away. He's hurting, and now his woman is offering more hurt on top of the hurt that he's currently experiencing. That's tough, y'all. That's tough. That's tough for real, you know. And so now so we got this going on, the dynamic between the husband and the wife, but then we've got the baby, the son, Jay-Z. And now it's affecting him because now he's, you know, it's like, man, you know, daddy don't like us, daddy don't want us, you know what I mean? But when you learn to look from another's perspective,
It's here. And how it sounds to him is, you want me to choose between you and my baby brother,
you don't give a shit
who
about
I was
my baby
supposed to
brother.
protect? Now there's the fracture, among other things. You know, there's relationship, and there's their relationship, not ours as children. And you're a result of those things. So you feel like, boy, dad's not around. It would have been dope if he'd have been
so
able to
at the
take
end
me.
of the day, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, we must be extremely careful that we do not allow the enemy to trick us into thinking we got to be right all the time. Even when you are right, you've got to be able to see it from another man's perspective so that you can gain understanding, healing. Come on, somebody, progression. Come on, somebody. And that's just the reality, folks. That's just the reality. So we cannot let the enemy win twice. You know, he broke up a relationship and now he's got me bitter. And as a result, you know, the bitterness is seeping out into the life and the mentality of my children. Come on, somebody. And now we've got a vicious cycle going, and we got to stop it, and we can. And guess what? We will. It's your boy Retro with you on today with a little retro philosophy. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. All right. And stop. It ain't funny. Stop laughing at people. Yeah. Stop laughing at people. Stop making fun of people. I get it. Some stuff is humorous, but you know we've got to be very careful. Was it Sunday's Best? It wasn't Sunday Best. It was one of those gospel shows where they had this guy. He was a contestant. Donnie McClurkin, Kim Burrell, and Kiera Sheard were the panelists. There may have been another one up there, but those three I distinctly remember. And so the gentleman had got done singing. Kiera Sheard was speaking to him in terms of what she felt about his performance and everything. And meanwhile, while she's speaking to the gentleman, Donnie McClurkin and Kim Burrell are laughing. And he blew up. The dude blew up. He was like, it ain't funny. You know, he said, furthermore, you're rude. Now, they tried to explain that they were not laughing at him, which I don't think the case was. They, you know, when you look at the clip, they were clearly laughing at him. But this brother he was hot about it, man. He was hot about it. And I he was right. It ain't funny. Just because you're better at something than somebody, you know, doesn't give us the right to make fun of others. There are people who have way better shows than I have, much better platform. The production is stellar, but that doesn't give them a right to poke fun and laugh at me and mines. If you a real G, spit some game, put a little G on, you know. And so I ain't reached but nowhere. But what little bit I do know, I'm gonna be willing to share. Literally just before I got ready to press play, my phone rang. And there was a gentleman on the other end, and he was asking me some questions. He had saw something that I had did and said, how did you get it to do that? And I began to explain what I could explain. And as soon as I get off this live, I'm calling him up, and we're going to walk through this thing. And by golly, somehow or another, we're going to be able to, we're going to walk through it. We're going to help him to do what I'm doing and even better. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's what it's about. It's not about competition. It's about complementing each other. When you look good, I look good. We got to stop competing and thinking that we can just, you know, laugh at people while they're going through what they're going through. And I'm sure that many of you can understand where I'm coming from, and probably have even been the recipient of their rude behavior, if you will. Look here, man. We want to thank you for pressing play, being a part of the Retro Philosophy Show. We want to encourage you to get out there and collect you some miles. But while you're collecting those miles, collect some smiles as well. We here on the Retro Philosophy Show call it collecting miles and smiles. And by golly, we're going to do that on this coming weekend. We're gearing up for that now. The rest of the week, I'm in chill mode, just relaxing and taking care of a few things so that when it comes time to hit the road, we will be ready to do just that, hit the road. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, get out there, collect you some miles and smiles. All right. Also, we want to remind you that on Mondays, we do our live interviews. So make sure you tune in so that you can be a part of the conversation. And we try to have conversations that are beneficial for the viewers, if you understand what I'm saying. So make sure you mark that on your calendar and make it a date, and don't be late. All right. Don't you dare be late. Let's see here. I'm trying to make sure I pay all my bills here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're going over to the YouTube, like and subscribe. Okay, like and subscribe, and then make some comments as well. We want as much interaction as possible. That would be a blessing if you were to do so. All right. Let's see here. God is good, isn't he, y'all? He's good all the time, and all the time he is good. All right, so we're done with our YouTube. Let's go over here and give a shout out to some of our sponsors and share some of the product that we have with you guys. Okay, bada boom, bada bang. We want to give a shout out to Upper Praise Ministries, located in Mooresville, North Carolina, 442 Westmore Avenue. Sunday morning services start at 11 a.m. Where you can get an experience with God second to none. All right. At Upper Praise, we take our praise to another level and our worship to a new dimension. Creations by TYS, located at 111 Center Street here in Statesville, North Carolina. She has all kind of custom pieces, as you can see here. Make sure you get by there and check her out. You can also go to her website and make your order, www.creationsbytys.com. She can get your order and get it to you in the mail lickety split real quick. Come on, somebody. So make sure you go by there and check her out. She's a great young lady doing great things for the Lord, and I'm extremely proud of her, how God is blessing her and even using her her facility to be a blessing to customers that come in. Thank you for pressing play on today, Troy. Thank you for being a part of the Retro Philosophy Show. And truth be told, you help make it great. You help make it great. So remember, whenever we go live, make sure you hashtag press play. All right. Also want to give a shout out to Hope Hill Cathedral, located in Montgomery, Alabama, where Dr. Kelvin Jones is the pastor and First Lady Rashina Jones. You can catch them on Facebook Live. You can also find them on YouTube. All right. So make sure you go and check them out if you're looking for a place to worship in the Montgomery, Alabama or surrounding areas. A place to worship. There you have it. Hope Hill Cathedral. All right. Go and check them out. Also, if you're in the Springfield area, you can go and visit Victory Point, located in Springfield, Massachusetts on Island Pond Road. All right. You can find them on Facebook, YouTube. You can also find them on TikTok, where you'll find the VIP section. And so make sure you check them out. www.victorypointma.com, where Pastor David Eady is the pastor and First Lady Edia doing their thing up there. So shout out to everybody that's a part of Victory Point. Victory what? Point. Come on, somebody. God is good all the time, and all the time he is good. If you are looking to get some merchandise, you can do so right here on the Retro Philosophy Show. Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry. Yes, indeed. Let's see here. We got to get that up there. There we go. There it is right there. Kingdom Alignment Motorcycle Ministry. We are a motorcycle ministry here in the Statesville area, and we ride for Jesus, you know, reaching souls 1 mile at a time, letting people know that you can ride and represent Jesus at the same time, letting people know that you can enjoy life and not lose the standard. Come on, somebody. And so if you are looking to ride with a group of people who love the Lord and just love to ride, then we might be your group. We might be the group for you. Give us a call, and we will share more with you about the ministry, and then that way you can have all your answers, all your questions answered. There we go, that part right there. Okay. And as you know, Retro Philosophy Show, this is the shirt, this is the style that we will be giving away. So we need for you to go on over to the Cash App. Okay. And I'll put that on the screen for you. $ Retro Philosophy. All you have to do is send $1 and your t-shirt size, and we will be doing the drawing on tomorrow, so you still have time to get your name in the race to win this t-shirt here. We've had some to come in already. We appreciate you guys for supporting us, and we encourage you to share this information. Next week we will be doing a different giveaway. I've got some stuff, so y'all got to stay tuned, man. Y'all got to stay tuned, and it's just $1, man. It ain't, if you don't win, you don't win. It's not gonna hurt you. 4 quarters, 20 nickels, 100 pennies. It is what it is. 10 dimes. All right, so there's that. Let's see here. I also want to give a shout out to Philly Harvest Church out there in the Philadelphia area. Pastor Ruiz, they're doing a great thing out there. They have the Jesus Week this week that's going on. And I do believe that tomorrow they have special guests and everything. So if you're in the Philadelphia area, make sure you go by and check them out. Philly Harvest Church, we want to thank you for partnering with the Retro Philosophy Show, and we appreciate you for everything that you are doing and will continue to do. We also want to say what's going on to Pastor Nate Sessions out of California. Let's see here. Bada boom, bang, bang. There we go. Jesus is Lord, Enlightened Ministries, Enlightened Biker Church, and they also have a motorcycle ministry, Light Riders. Okay. And so we send a what's up to them and all my other motorcycle ministries out there, man. Make sure you send me your info, man. We'll put you on the Retro Philosophy Show as well, because that's what it's all about, man. That's what it's all about, man. We believe in supporting each other. Last but not least, I want to holler at the baddest chemist that I know, amen, the one and only Dr. J. Slays of DJS Beauty, the family brand. Make sure you go by there to her website. You can check her out. www.djsbeauty.com. She also has a book, the art and science of makeup. All right, so make sure you go by there and check her out. And if you want to be a sponsor or a supporter of the Retro Philosophy Show, want your business to be highlighted here, just reach out to us and let us know, and we will make it happen without any issues. All right, it's been fun, but I got to run. Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, but I treat the rabbit good. So when the rabbit got the gun, I ain't got to worry. Y'all ain't hear me. When the rabbit got the gun, I ain't got to worry. So that's how we've got to live our life. We've got to live our life in such a way that even when the rabbit got the gun, we ain't got to worry about it, because we treated the rabbit real good. As a matter of fact, we treated the rabbit so good that every now and then he brings carrots back to us. How about that part right there? That's how we got to live life, folks. It's your boy Retro, man, and I'm gone, man. We appreciate your support. We will be announcing the winner for the raffle tomorrow evening. That is tomorrow evening, not tomorrow morning, but tomorrow evening. So make sure you join the Retro Philosophy Show on tomorrow, and we'll talk to you guys next go round. All right. Good evening, good morning, good night, good day. It's your boy Retro. Thank you for pressing play.
Shout out to Retro Philosophy Show. This is the guy Sammy. Follow him. Let them know.
Come on, somebody lift up a shout to the Lord.
Mm.